Yo guys, it's Kyle coming at you from Bane's Film Reviews. I just saw The Phoenician Scheme, directed by Wes Anderson, starring Benicio del Toro and Mia Thrappleton. And if you've seen any other Wes Anderson film in your entire life, you understand that there's dozens of other stellar actors uh, playing a part in this film. Some small, some large, but all really, really wonderful actors. So The Phoenician Scheme is a really convoluted film about this this tycoon who just like is trying to pass his wealth onto his daughter because there's so many assassination attempts going on, people trying to take his life, and it's really, really convoluted, really odd. And I'll be honest with you, I like Wes Anderson. I like what he does. I typically like the convoluted nature of his films. I like the depth and the metaphor and the symbolism. This film was just fine. Um, this may be my least favorite Wes Anderson film that I've seen. I know that people weren't particularly fond of Asteroid City. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a lot of fun. This was kind of boring, and it just sort of drones on for an hour and 40 minutes, and there's very little character development. There's very little in terms of plot development. Things happen, but like nothing really happens. And I found myself a bit frustrated with the development of this narrative, and again, the minimal development of these characters, and the really slow pacing of this film. So that's the bad of this, and really it is the bulk of the film. But Wes Anderson continues to do what Wes Anderson does, and he develops a really interesting film, regardless of its faults and its flaws. Um, he uses cinematography to his benefits, and he uses, he likes to pan back and forth and uses really crisp cinematography that captures characters up close and personal and really envelops viewers in his film and really invites them in. He does that very well in all of his films, live action and animated. He does it again here in The Phoenician Scheme. That I am not at all disappointed in. Again, that's exactly what I anticipate would happen in a Wes Anderson film, and he once again delivers in that regard. Additionally, I think it's a very interesting score. I think that it complements the characters, and I think it complements the narrative very well. I think the editing is spectacularly done, where we get really crisp cuts from one place to another, and some really great jobs of, in this film in particular, we have characters that exist on one side of the film, and then suddenly exist somewhere else, and it does not fracture the narrative. It does not fracture the scene whatsoever. Again, Anderson and his team do a very, very good job of ensuring that the editing is very fluid and works very well to develop a really, really odd and convoluted film. I'm going to give The Phoenician Scheme a 6.5 out of 10. Again, it's not a bad film, but there's just not a lot of anything that happens. I mean, the technical aspects are great. The hyperrealism, the metaphor, the symbolism, this idea of diplomacy and espionage, and things happening in the real world heightened to a new degree. It's really, really cool, and I get if you're willing to dive deep into this film, it works really well for you. And again, I appreciate those aspects, but there's little narrative on the surface, and there's little character development on the surface. And it was really hard to get into this film. I found myself dozing a couple of times in the theater, and I feel great right now. So the fact that I'm dozing in the theater, and now I feel great when I step outside into this scorching 102-degree weather, as my car is telling me right now, that says something about the pacing, about the structuring of this film. The Phoenician Scheme is, again, it's fine. Don't rush to the theater. It's not going to be here much longer. I don't anticipate it's going to make a lot more money. It'll end up on streaming services relatively soon, I anticipate. It'll be available to buy or to rent. So I think that if you like Wes Anderson, this is a film that you should watch when it's available at home. Otherwise, I don't think that this film appeals to you. I think, again, it's great acting, but that acting really doesn't lend itself to anything in particular, and I wish that I got more out of this. So, until next time, guys.